welcome back to another Models by Me video. This time an unboxing of Dora Wings Percival Proctor Mark 1 in Czechoslovakian service. This will be the last of the trainer aircraft. As unfortunately I've got no more available to actually review, unfortunately. So what we'll do in the usual manner, we will have a look at the outside of the box, followed by the contents, instructions, and then finally the sprues. So a little bit of history on the Proctor. It was developed first flew in 1939, and it was retired in 55, so it survived after the war. Its primary users were both the Air Force and the Fleet Air Arm, and its role was as a radio trainer / communications aircraft. So it's quite an interesting role it had. And it was actually a development from the Vigo Gull, which was the previous video we just did. So I just did it. So it's the Dora Wings one again. So if you want to have a look at that one and then come back to this one and see how many similarities there may be. The two aircraft do look quite similar to each other. So the outside of the box, so we got a nice view of the, actually this is the underside view this time, of the Proctor flying through the air. It's Czechoslovakian markings. We've got the Dora Wings in the top corner, Percival Proctor, Czechoslovakia, and 1/72. Unlike the Vigo Gull kit, you can actually see this scale this time. So on the side, we have the eBay seller again. He's gone over the Facebook markings. Then we've got extra kits available from Dora Wings. So we have the King Cobra twice. Ooh, a trainer King Cobra. Very interesting. And then the GBR2. It's a real thing that flew. Quite a famous one. A lot of people have done that kit. Or that plane. On the side here, we've got the Dora Wings Percival Proctor again. So if you're going to display the box like this, you can actually still read what it says. The side is in Czechoslovakian service, and yet here's an RAF version. Model details including photo etch. And all the details again, including the box art. So if you want to store the kit on the shelf, like so. So, whoops. Content. So let's open up the box and see what we got. So we have the instructions and bag sprue, not the bag sprue, all the sprues in the bag. It's quite nice. And then lastly, not lastly, in two separate bags. Decals, film, as well as masks for the canopy. And last thing in the box, we have the photo etch. So let's have a look at the instructions. So apologies for any noise you may hear in the background. The dog that we're currently looking after has decided to come and sit next to me. So apologies if you hear him in the corner. Or rocks the stand. Stop moving. Sit. Stay. So, sorry, back to the instructions. So a little bit of history on the plane there itself, as well as the sprues. Now, anybody that's just come across from the, or seen the Vigo Gull video and then come across here, those look awfully familiar. Almost the identical same sprues. Even all the parts there, except for the canopy section, which as we saw, has 2 lots. So, instructions. It's going to start with the wheels, isn't it? Hey, it starts with the wheels. So, for the courtesy of those that didn't watch that other video first, there you go. So we start with the wheels, and then we'll go straight onto the instrument panel. So we've got the film piece there, which we recommend paint the A3 first, glue the film on, paint the photo etch, which will be in this greyed out colour, and then glue it on top of the film, which is on top of the original bit of plastic. Next we could do the column in the middle, so we've got the throttle, will be probably the fuel mixture, and the flap levers, which you then glue all that together onto the front of the fuselage piece, or the top fuselage piece, beg your pardon. Drill a random hole into the wing. And then next we have the wings themselves, so we've got to put the light in their side there, put an extra photo etch piece on top of that. Whoops. Then the ailerons, you've got to glue those on, which on these later ones they actually do look the part a lot better than some of like the original, like early Frog and Airfix kits. These actually look quite better. And then the other side, we have to cut out the light. It's marked up for the light on the wing, and you've got to cut that out and then glue the light back in there. The underside of the fuselage plus the cockpit section itself, randomly drill holes in them. Not randomly, they do have purposes, but I just love the fact they got separate instruction points, and it's just drill holes. Then we got glue the seat together, or put the seat belts onto the seat, and then put the a couple of little levers on, as well as the compass and the stand. Now, I referred to this in the previous video as the door. Keep up the trend, I'm calling it a door. Now, it's a frame for the inside and a shelf on the back. Go to see here, we put the seats in, as well as the control sticks. And then, as you can see there, the door is kind of blocked up, so you can't see anything. But the rear seat's there, and then you put the foot pedals in, so it controls the rudder, as well as the firewall. Glue the 2 sides of the fuselage together, as well as the top piece that contains the instrument panel. Glue the rudder on. Engine. You got a little peg there, so you can have a spinny propeller if you so wish. Canopy. Canopy sides and the tail frame. The underside of the engine. The wheels and some extra bits, with the tail wheel going on. A cover for the engine. That's interesting, and that's photo etch as well. Ooh, have fun bending that one in place, guys. Only one of those little airspeed indicators, pitot tube thing. I'm not too sure what that is. Sorry. If you know, let me know, please. Sorry, I noticed here it shows an aerial being installed. Where was the aerial? Oop, come here. A few extra bits on the inside. That would probably be an oil cooler. It's very similar design to the Spitfire version. Pitot tube again, as well as a couple of extra little bits. And oh, there's the aerial. It's one of the last things to glue on, which I would recommend keeping that as one of the last things to glue on anyway. Air intake thing here. Interesting. I'm too sure what that would be. Well, can't be an air intake because that's a big hole in the front of the cowling there. But yeah, and that's it all made. So the paint guides. in Czechoslovakian use, and yet the very first one is RAF, but as it's noticed, used in the Czech Air Attaché at RAF Hendon. Early 45, quite a late one. And yeah, despite it being a late aircraft, it's still in the early RAF colour scheme of earth green and yellow underside. So yeah, quite interesting. Quite a few decals there you got to put on. So, and the only other decal option is for be the box art version. So EXP 6240 in Czechoslovakian service. In Gabelli, apologies, that's butchered. I know that's butchered, but apologies. As between 46 and 49. And just only a few decals left on this one. Similar to the problem that we had to the goal. Where's all the paint guides? What colours am I using to represent this Czechoslovakian version? Or okay, we know what colours those are. But yeah, there's nothing there, which is kind of annoying, to be honest. So, okie dokie, that's it for the instructions. So, okay, let's have a look at the sprue. So, we'll have a look at the wings first, which are completely out of focus. There we go. So we've got the underside there. It's a couple of blemishes, so it didn't quite mould properly there, unfortunately. But it still looks quite good. The moulding came out quite well, it just didn't mix well. That side's quite well as well. Nicely detailed as well. As you can see the all the frames, so it's definitely a canvas and frame wing. Inside of it will be the top, and the outside of the top, which is quite nice as well. Minus again a few more of the the marks where plastic didn't mix well. Seems quite bad, this one. Finally, definitely not finally. Next one, the fuselage side there, so it's quite nice again. Panel lines not too deep, though too deep or too big, but recommend thinning your paint because there's a good chance painting in you're going to accidentally fill in the panel lines and lose the detail there. But it's quite nice. There's that doorway I referred to earlier, the frame. Shelf on the back. No, that's not the shelf, that's the firewall. Instrument, the bit that goes on the front here, which has the instruments in it. Cockpit section. The inside, which is quite nicely detailed again. And the other side of the fuselage. There's the instrument panel. And the inside of the fuselage, unfortunately, has no detail whatsoever in there. Bit of a shame, that. And not much detail else there. For anybody that came across and watched the vegan goal video first, and then has come to join this video, so you're probably wondering, this kit looks identical to the goal. This sprue has just confirmed it. All these extra bits, because we questioned in the last video that there's 5 seats, two lots of rotors, 2 lots of tail elevators, 2 lots of propellers, 2 lots of cowlings. What was the correlation? The reason being, it's the same kit for different boxes. So you can make multiple different versions of the same plane. Which on the plus side, you made different versions of the same plane, and you just need the one box. Equally, if you want to do the different decal options, but they only have, say, one of the Proctor and one of the goal, get one of each, and you can do both versions out of both kits. But yeah, back to the sprue itself. Apologies for that little detour. Details quite nice here again. You can see the raised framework through the canvas. Seats look, I would say look comfy, but solid plastic that isn't comfy. Imagine it as like a typical seat. Looks kind of comfy, nice detail on it. The front seats have no detail there whatsoever, unfortunately. The rest of the control surfaces look quite nice. The tail wheels, 3 different tail wheels. Well, again, all look quite nice there. So it's all quite well detailed. A little bit of flash here though, that's annoying. Not the end of the world. But yeah, all quite nice there. Again, very nicely detailed. Clear plastic, this is where it's a bit different. The sprue is separate for this one kit. And it is quite clear. I'm leaving it in the bag, this, so I don't get fingerprints all over it. But yeah, that's quite a nice little. As like the framework is all raised, so you can actually, if you don't fancy using the masks, because this kit does come with masks. Yeah, if you don't fancy using, you can try and paint it, and it'll look quite nice. And it's quite clear, so you can see the detail on the interior. Speaking of the mask, I might as well. It's a bit missing. There it is. There's the photo etch. So you can imagine some of these pieces, when you cut them off, are just going to go ping, and that's the last you ever see of them. Quite nice. And the masks, which you can't really see. Oh, you can just about make out some of it there. Proctor Mark 1 and Vega Goal. So the film, you can actually almost make out what each of the different dials actually is for there. So that's interesting. And while the decals are here, let's have a look at them. They're all quite nice. Nicely spread out bar some of these little ones, but those are nicely spread out, so you less chance of cutting through one of them by accident. So yeah, very nice. Let me box this up and final thoughts. So this looks like it's going to be a nice little plane to make. Some nice detail on the inside. It would be interesting to see how well it does go together, mind you. I've only had one experience with Dora Wings before, which is the Lysander. And I recommend go watching that video. It's a post-build review, so don't expect me to build the thing in front of you, but it's a post-build review, but I explained the problems I had with that kit and that there. So I would recommend just go watch that and let me know, is this kit going to be similar? To get the goal as well. Is it going to be similar where it's just like there's a lot of issues and problems with these kits, or actually is it just have a one-off? But yeah, it just represents a nice little change, a couple of little aircraft that were used for both used for training. If you could leave a comment, just like if you do know which colours are used for both this and the goal in the previous video, like the greys and the blue for the underside, please let me know in the comment section. And have you actually made one of these before? Is it actually quite an easy build, or is it awkward? Any like traps or anything to look out for? So that's it for the trainer aircraft. I won't be able to build the Proctor or the goal unless I go and buy it myself, as these two kits were generally loaned to me for these unboxing videos, and I will be handing them back. But thank you for watching and staying with me, and hit the like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Bye.